Hey, Assalamu alaikum. Let's understand about the top 10 rejuvenating drugs. So that is important thing is that the here is the notes you can understand. So let's understand about through notes. So I have researched it. So the rejuvenating technique is the different with some natural hormesis. So what is the hormesis? Hormesis means the stress which that is beneficial like the hot stress, cold stress, exercise, and on the other hand the fasting, ketogenic diet, calorie restriction, that all type, and the other type of injury in the muscle which that is basically, and the electrical shock, a lot more shock which that will lead to cause many stress which that is beneficial for you. But in this way, let's understand about that all thing is the beneficial for reverse the aging, while here is the top 10 rejuvenating drug we will understand. So the metformin is the number one, because a lot more study which that shows the metformin basically reverse the arteriosclerosis and atherosclerosis, the cardiovascular disease, and a lot more reverse the aging, while on the other hand the blood glucose level will maintain. So whenever the blood glucose level will maintain, so the glucose intake whenever, so the glucose will not bind with the protein lead to cause glycoprotein, or not bind with the lipid will lead to cause glycolipid, and that not hinder the function of the lipids and the protein, so not produce the inflammation. So because whenever the glucose will bind with the LDL lead to cause oxidized LDL to increase the reactive oxygen species will damage the endothelial cell. So the metformin is important, which that is the anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, and it stimulates the AMPK stimulator. Remember, it is mimic the fasting. So the metformin basically mimic the fasting. Whenever you will intake too much sugar and too much things, whenever you are cheat meal, so AMPK pathway will trigger due to the mimicking of the fasting, because the metformin with the hydrochloric acid, basically it will not absorb the glucose, it will inhibit the absorption of the glucose quickly, while on the other hand also target to the liver to increase the insulin like growth factor 1, which that is also the anti-aging and reverse the aging. But anyhow, this insulin like growth factor 1 will lose the fat, so the lose of the fat will lead to reverse the aging and improve the insulin sensitivity. So remember, it will improve the insulin sensitivity means anti-diabetic, so it will reverse the diabetes mellitus type 2, but with a healthy diet, so it can work like the low carb, high fat, but the moderate amount of the protein, because protein also spike the insulin. So remember, when insulin will not spike by this mechanism, so the growth hormone will trigger, and the buffer of the insulin will spike the growth hormone, and that growth hormone will work for the development of your muscle and everything, and your skin. You will reverse the aging. So the growth hormone is also important. Early age of the growth hormone release, which that is not working for the reverse of the aging, but after the 25 years, that growth hormone will work for the reverse of the aging. Increase the lifespan. So studied in animal which that shows the metformin increase the lifespan. So in this way, that is important thing. While the rapamycin inhibits the mTOR, so that it is mTOR inhibitor, the mammalian target of rapamycin, and which that is anti-aging. So mTOR is important, will lead to progress the proliferation of the damaged cell. Even don't repair the DNA while it will proliferate, replicate, will lead to cause progression of the DNA damage containing cells. So everything. Autophagy. So the autophagy means the cell will eat itself by the trigger of the inhibitor of the mTOR pathway due to the rapamycin. So the rapamycin will inhibit, it is mammalian target of rapamycin. So the mammalian target of rapamycin inhibitor. So the rapamycin when inhibit the mTOR pathway, so in this way the cell will survive. Those cells which that is basically healthy, while the unhealthy cell, the AMPK pathway will trigger due to the fasting or something, or rapamycin itself. So the whenever the mTOR pathway will inhibit, so the AMPK pathway will trigger. This AMPK pathway is the checker of that. Basically, it will check the damage site of the cell, and in this way, if the more damage of the mitochondria of the cell, so in this way, it will basically autophagy will progress. So in this way, basically autophagy will occur due to the AMPK pathway will stimulate while the buffering of the mTOR. So the rapamycin will buffer the mTOR pathway while spike the AMPK pathway due to the energy deficiency condition, and a lot more things like fasting, intermittent fasting also trigger the AMPK pathway. So autophagy and cellular cleansing show the promise in cancer. So the basically it is anti-cancer, so it will lead to cause prevention of cancer and the neurodegenerative diseases prevention. So by this rapamycin, remember, it is going. We will not understand with the detail, but just understand about that. Next is the resveratrol. Resveratrol. This is the antioxidant. So in this way, the inflammation will decrease. So the anti-inflammatory mimic the caloric restriction. Basically, the resveratrol. So the resveratrol is basically may improve the cardiovascular health. So remember, while the NAD plus, the nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, which that is NAD plus booster, NMN and NR, which that is in the form of supplementation is important, like the NMN, which that enhance the energy metabolism, the improve DNA repair, and the cellular death. Basically, if the damaged cell, so the cell will damage will lead to cause autophagy. Reverse age-related decline, so age-related decline will reverse. And the next one is that the senolytics, so it is basically the dasatinib and the quercetin. Quercetin is basically the target senescent cells, reduce the inflammation. So it will target the senescent cell. Senescent cell means that cell is basically unable to survive and that is damaged. So in this way, it will lead to clear up that things and reduce the inflammation and improve the cardiovascular and the musculoskeletal health. Remember, the cell which that is damaged already, which that will lead to recycle. And it is also the senolytics is a compound containing basically the dasatinib and the quercetin, which that is basically important for the target the senescent cell and reduce inflammation, improve cardiovascular and the musculoskeletal health. So that is important. And the telomerase activator. The telomerase activator is the drug basically which can lead to TA to 65 TS and the 65 astragalus, which then basically you can understand through our telomerase activator. This lengthen the telomere, so whenever the increase the telomere will lead to anti-aging process, because the telomere is very important for DNA correction and the additionally damaged DNA correction. Basically, whenever the cell will replicate, each replication the telomere will be short, so the telomerase enzyme will lead to increase the telomere and maintain the telomere, and in this way the aging will not progress. Protect the DNA and may improve the immune function. So also the telomerase enzyme is important. So the telomerase activator is basically is known as the 65 astragalus. Peptides, next is the peptide, which that is basically can be a GHK and the CU, basically is known as the copper peptides. The copper peptides stimulate the collagen production, protect DNA, may improve immune system and the improve skin, hair and wound healing, cognitive function also. So SIRT6 activator is the SIRT6 gene, which that basically should be activated for the reverse the aging. So it is the fisatin or is the known as the fisatin. So the fisatin is the DNA repair drug, which that is the activator of the SIRT6 gene, and genomic stability, metabolic health and longevity. While this is the important thing you should need to understand. On the other hand, the mitochondrial function enhances coenzyme Q10. This coenzyme Q10 are basically, this is the coenzyme and it is important for the mitochondrial function enhancer. So the mitochondrial function enhancer is the coenzyme Q10, which that is important for the energy production, for the electron transport chain function reduce the oxidative stress and improve the neuroprotection also. Basically, it is also increase the neuroprotection because it increase the number of mitochondria and function the number of function the mitochondria in your nervous system will lead to prepare all this type of things like the neurogenesis, neuroplasticity, and that all about that things, and synaptogenesis. Stem cell therapy. So the stem cell therapy is the other process. It is promote the tissue regeneration and immune function. So remember, the stem cell therapy is the last one. So this is a top 10 rejuvenating drugs. So rejuvenating drugs which that boost the anti-aging process. But a lot more important things, but this is the top 10. So next video we will understand more. So next video we will also understand about how to grow your muscle and how to reverse the aging. But for this time it's okay. So see in the next video. For this time, bye. Allah Hafiz.